Live your life, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Conspiracy Farm, where we don't start the conspiracies, we just add the water. And now, your host of the most state-of-the-art, most informed podcast on the interweb, I present to you Pat Miletich and Jeffrey Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for war?
Yeah, rear naked choke of Cocker Spaniel, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Change the neighborhood up.
Conspiracy Farm. Go. Check it out.
But surely, I'm sure this will build. A lot of people sitting at home. People not, unfortunately, not out. Got to get up early for work. A lot of people.
Yes, they do.
It's unfortunate.
I just hit record, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick and I. Patrick is on Facebook Live. Says something went wrong on his end, but we are here, just chopping it up. Trying to bring as much content as possible this week, as everyone has so much downtime.
Did something go wrong on my end?
It says something went wrong. But that's all right. We are still recording, but we are on Facebook Live for all of our Facebook Live fans, but we still are recording the episode.
All right. Can everybody on Facebook hear Jeffrey talk? Jeff, go ahead and talk a little bit.
Hey, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Jeffrey Wilson, stuffing my face with a little pie.
How you doing, Amy? Good to see you.
Amy K. Larson in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm still wearing my broken reading glasses.
Yeah, I noticed that.
One arm in it. Other arm's out on the counter out in the kitchen. I'll duct tape that son of a gun on if I have to.
Man, I used to do that for years as a kid. I used to just go through so many pairs of glasses. Seriously.
I look like one of the Hanson brothers.
Yeah.
From Slapshot.
I'm not hip with that reference.
You don't know the movie Slapshot?
Mm-mm.
Dude, the Hanson brothers. Oh, dear God. People. Oh, God.
I know.
How did you and I get along this long without me knowing that you have never seen Slapshot?
Is that like a Bad News Bear era type movie?
It is a semi-pro hockey team that Paul Newman coaches. It's one of the funniest movies ever made.
Wow.
So anyway, let's talk about what's going on, buddy. Hey, are you expecting your government checks soon?
Yeah, I mean, all those people who said Trump wasn't his president, please, I'll take those checks if you don't mind. But yeah.
There's also a lot of Trump fans that'll take those checks and accept socialism, won't they?
Yeah, oddly enough, isn't that strange how that worked out?
It is. Everybody's doing a vice versa flip job on us, aren't they?
Versa. As we've said, man,
Versa.
Reality is completely inverted, but that's all right. I mean, it's not all right. It's for me
It's not all right. Don't take the check.
Well, it's just what's happening.
I want to see you tear it up. I want to see you tear it up in the next episode.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So don't worry about that.
Hey, man, it's not going to be worth anything anyway. Everybody's going to get a check. The U.S. dollar is going to be worth nothing.
See, that's what I find so odd. They pump a couple trillion in, give it to the bankers. They bottom everything out so they can go in and buy everything up for freaking nothing, and then basically bring the buying power of the dollar down to nothing, and then we'll give you guys $1,000 after we plummet everything. Sure, here, take it.
Yeah. Well, and on a bigger scale, people don't realize that we're going to go from capitalism to communism real easily here when the Fed is holding rates artificially low. They bail out the corporations. The corporations are able to build up some steam and buy back their stock.
Yes.
And the only way that happens is government bailouts is if the government gets to control those corporations, just like the Obama administration did with Chrysler and GM.
You see the car companies closed down today?
All three, the big three, yeah, shut down production. So, look, they had to do that anyway. Carmageddon was coming. There was an overstock, a big time overstock of vehicles, especially used vehicles, tons of them. Yeah, nobody was buying them. So, this is, I think it's planned. It's all planned. They're using this virus, whether it was accident, whether it was actually from a meat market in East China, or if it was lab created, it doesn't matter right now. They're using this as cover for a complete financial reset. So,
well, and there's going to be a social reset too. I mean, because what we're going to see here in the coming weeks as people lose money and their bellies get empty, as we said in previous transmissions, look at how people are behaving and their bellies are full. Wait till they're not.
Right, yeah. So, what I would say is this. paying attention to people like Peter Schiff, who called the 2008 collapse, his tweets today were ominous, to say the least.
Yeah, and he called the '08 stuff too, so I mean, he's definitely someone to want to pay attention to.
And the interesting thing is when I saw him live on CNN with two other economists, when he was calling that 2008 collapse, he was being laughed at by those guys. And we've talked about that before, but those economists have never been seen again. And Schiff is kicking ass in the gold and silver market and doing his thing. But his comments were very ominous. I mean, he's spelling it out that the derivatives bubble. I mean, it's up to $1.5 quadrillion, which is, I think, four or five times the entire global economy or GDP.
Yeah.
It's
and Monday we have on Joseph P. Farrell, Oxford scholar, to break it all down because he has great videos on Giza Death Star. You can follow him. He's going to be on Monday again. He's been talking about this for a very, very long time. And Champ, we've talked about this many times. We have friends, families, loved ones that when we try to freaking sound the horn of Gondor, when we try to say the bridge is out, all they can do is fucking floor it to the bridge that is out. I get it, man. People honestly can't fathom oftentimes how bad it can get. And I'm not saying like I'm cooler or smarter or whatever, but I'm just a fan of history. And when you see the patterns play out, it doesn't seem so, oh, this is just a one-off. When you see it play out and when you see people plan for things like this, like Event 201 or just, all of this restructuring. We're going to have James Corbett on Sunday to talk about and reiterate how we talked about how this is a reset. And we're going to also talk about how they're going to use this in addition to climate change to facilitate the reset. It's deep, man. This is in the tune. I mean, this is a full on reset. And honestly, I've said before, China is the beta test, ladies and gentlemen, of where we're going. When Alex Jones talked about your dishwasher listening to you, of course he wasn't physically saying it's audibly listening to you. It's tracking your information, your energy consumption. So when cash goes away, and we move away from cash, and we move away to more single drawing rights or carbon credits, if you will, they're going to be seeing how much energy you consume. How much does it take to be you credit-wise? And that's how much you're going to have to live on. And they're going to have social credit. Take pictures of you jaywalking and you lose social credit. And then you can't get on planes. You can't get on buses. This is what's coming, ladies and gentlemen. The technocracy.
China is the proving ground for all of that.
It has been the beta test for a long time, and I'm telling you, that's what's next. Facial recognition, the whole nine.
As you mentioned, the U.S.-Canadian border is already shut down. We've talked about the bubble. We've talked about Deutsche Bank, Wells Fargo, all of them for a long time now have been circling the drain, and people laughing at us, whatever. We've gotten to the point where when I say a financial collapse is coming, it's already here. I mean, the stock market went from 29,000 down to 19,000, and it's going to continue to fall from what Schiff believes it's going to go all the way to 10,000. That, to even think about it, going to 100 or to 10,000 is.
And of course, you'll hear people. Yeah, fuck yeah, it is, man. And you'll hear people say how the up and down of the stock market isn't necessarily the best barometer to gauge an economy, but it's definitely one of them. But when you look at the stock market plummet and you look at what's going on in all of our markets, from local to national to federal to international, with all these companies shutting down, ladies and gentlemen, help me understand it. How can this not be the collapse that has been foreseen for a very long time? How can this not be a big, huge reset? In a few weeks, dude, and that really freaked me out last night, how bad this is going to get. And I don't say that from a dire standpoint or I want it to be that way.
Right. And a lot of people don't understand, the derivatives bubble. They don't understand derivatives. And that's like a giant casino on futures, on any product, basically, known to man. I shift, the note or the loans to you. One of us owes more percentage points than the other. One will always be beholden, and they keep doing that sort of shell game. And it's grown to be, again, $1.5 quadrillion, which is 4 times the entire global economy.
Which will never, ever, ever, ever be paid back. But again,
right. So when that bursts, which is burst most likely. I mean, there's almost no way around it right now. It's really it's hard to imagine. There's no economist that's ever been in this. There's nobody alive that's ever seen anything like this.
This is unprecedented.
This is the biggest potential financial collapse ever in the history of mankind, and it is.
Well, even just the financial stuff could create all the stuff we're going to see. But they have a financial collapse on top of a global pandemic. Again, how can this not go really fucking bad?
The camouflage jacket on the financial collapse is the pandemic.
Oh, can I tell a story real
That's
fast?
the fatigues, bro. That's the new name for the coronavirus. We're going to call it the fatigues.
No, I'll save my story. No,
Right.
it's a good idea.
The fatigues. Now we've already done what, $2 trillion in bailouts.
In the last week,
Another $1 to $2 trillion coming.
Yeah.
The U.S. dollar is going to be worthless, basically. And I'm not gonna say who it was. I'm just gonna say a good friend who's a politician that I spoke to today. I spoke to a couple of people that are in the know, and he called me. I didn't call him.
Yeah.
Because we had talked a few days ago, and we promised to tell each other if we got pretty solid information.
Yes.
And he called me today and said basically he was in conference calls and different meetings today with other politicians and some other folks, financial folks, and his exact words are, within 72 hours, this thing takes a grave turn. And that's a little alarming. And then we're getting other information from other folks that National Guard's being moved around.
And after you sent me that and you called me, as I've said, doing this show, we get
matched,
all this.
It matched what the politician told me.
It matched fucking exactly.
Matched what the politician told me.
72 hours.
That we're looking at, within 72 hours that the Stafford Act will be, and they've already enacted some of it, but the full-blown Stafford Act is basically martial law.
Well, and then we have Trump. He said in his briefing today that he will be having a briefing tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Central Time, and we'll be discussing FEMA. So, and then I saw today, just before we went on, that 2 Congress people, I don't know if they're men or women, tested positive. So, again, how can this hammer not drop?
Well, here's the thing. Look, if this becomes what we think it is, and it's already started the downward spiral. If this becomes what we think it is in terms of the financial collapse disguised as a pandemic, that kills a lot more people than a pandemic.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people. Look, you think that we can go without restaurants and the hotels and the bars and business and automakers and all these different businesses being closed for an extended period of time? It's already costing billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Well, and we know how much of a proportion of our society is service-based. I mean, it can't stay closed for very long. I mean,
Yeah. So, and the bullshit going on mainstream media, I don't care, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all of them, the idiots are doing a great job of pulling the wool over the citizens' eyes. The president's doing a press conference, and just like they're supposed to, criticizing the president for calling it the China virus, the Chinese virus, and they're saying that that's racist and this and that. Look, all that is a diversion. All it is a diversion. Doesn't matter whether it came from China or it came from a lab, whatever. The Chinese are saying that the U.S. military are responsible for it and deposited the virus in China, which, look, we know about our 25 bioweapons labs. We don't know exactly who did this.
Yeah.
And we don't know for sure. So nobody can say anything.
but like you said earlier, it's almost irrelevant at this point with what we're dealing with.
We do know that a Harvard professor and a couple other folks were arrested for working with Chinese on some of the agents that are, we're talking about viruses. So
Right. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an interesting spring and summer. And people are even saying today, and I don't fucking doubt it, just considering how the timeline is being pushed and pushed. What are the odds that they cancel the 2020 election?
Oh, buddy, martial law will do that, won't it?
I mean, easily.
Think people will riot for that one?
I mean, there's no stopping. I mean, the rioting's going to be civil unrest is what I like to call it. Riots is usually like they're pissed about one thing or another, but there's so many reasons why people are going to be losing their shit here coming up. And again, I would implore everyone, not that we know everything, but we've talked about it many of times, go check out on a many of YouTube videos, Agenda 21. Definitely worth looking into because this has
an Agenda 30 now, right?
Well, yeah. Well, there's several different variations, but from your Rex 84 plan to your King Alfred plan to these COGs, continuity of government, that could lead to any number of the things that we're going to be seeing here in the next few weeks, which then brings in however they want to call it, world government, whatever the hell it is. But it just doesn't end good.
And as we've talked many times, also, when I say that the virus would kill tens of thousands, maybe more. But by shutting everything down and allowing the economy to implode, kills a lot more potentially, most likely. And we also know what follows financial collapse, usually. War.
Well, have you also heard in Los Angeles and even here in St. Louis how they're, because of quote-unquote overcrowding, they're letting out criminals?
Yeah, somebody was just talking about that the other day. Said that there were a couple of inmates just right across the river. They've been hanging out at a gas station on a street corner for a while, like all day long. Guys that got let out of jail.
That sounds like, what was that? The one with Bane, the Batman movie with Bane, where he goes in and lets out all the criminals, dude. I was born in the dark.
This is some unprecedented, trippy stuff, is what this is.
On so many levels, it's unprecedented, bro. From like all the sports stuff closing to the economic stuff to this pandemic. I mean, it's just so many different levels. And I don't mean to sound corny about it, but I think I said this yesterday. Remember life pre 9/11, how relatively normal it was, and then it went freaking shitbag nuts.
9/11 is nothing compared to what we're about to see.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be.
So will the professional sports leagues? Will they ask for bailouts? We already know the airlines are asking for almost $60 billion in bailouts.
Well, aren't they getting them with this insurance?
Are shutting down now. They're going to ask for bailouts. There's nobody to bail them out.
Well, I thought with all of these companies, the companies get insurance while the employees essentially just take it in the old sphincter.
Either way,
it's no bueno.
There's no money left.
And that's what I'm telling you. There's bread and circus of like, yeah, everything's collapsing, but we're going to give you a G. We're going to give you a nice G-bar. Sweet. Under normal circumstances, that'd be awesome. But we're moving into that Weimar Republic type shit where give me a few $1,000s. What's it going to buy me? A thimble? I mean, the dollars ain't going to be worth shit here in a minute.
Yeah. So, but for anybody that's just joining us, conversation with a politician that I had earlier today, he called me and let me know that things within 72 hours are going to take a grave turn. So for you folks out there that have not gotten to the grocery store and purchased a lot of canned goods, and I mean, I went the other day just to buy more, and all the soup was gone. Most of the canned goods, period, were gone. I went back today to different stores looking for toilet paper and paper towels, just because we know how. I mean, look, I'll use a wash rag and wash it twice. I don't care, whatever. I've got kids though, and a wife that be nice for them to have toilet paper. But I will tell you that those shelves were the whole back end of the store, where the toilet paper and paper towels were. All the stores were cleaned out, so that stuff is gone. But I will tell you, the most important part is stocking up on canned goods, pasta, stuff that's not perishable, and also My Patriot Supply. If you go to our website, you can click on that. It is back ordered, but it will get to you when your other shit runs out.
Yeah, preparewiththefarm.com is our unique URL, or you can go to theconspiracyfarm.com and click on the icon. And yeah, I spoke with the guys over at My Patriot Supply the other day, and just, thank them for all they're doing, because he said it's been insane since January. He's like, their volume has increased like over 100%. So again, I know that sounds off-putting to see like, oh man, it's going to be 6-8 weeks before I get it. But believe me, this will be going on 6 to 8 weeks from now. So, and that stuff lasts 25 years. I mean, that's not going anywhere. Again, it's one of the, you got fire insurance, you got car insurance.
Some of it.
It tastes wonderful. It's just better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, man.
And it's high calorie. You don't have to eat a ton to get a lot of calories.
It's delicious, man. It's not like, I mean, you're not knocking military MREs, but it is beyond military MRE. This stuff is delicious.
Well, I think that our veteran friends in the active military would probably be vocal about the taste of MREs after having been out in the field and had to eat them so much, But no.
What do you? Hey, let's get consensus.
How long are the airlines going to run, dude?
Not long.
There's people on vacation, spring break everywhere, right?
Let's get some consensus from some of our listeners. What do you guys think? Is this?
I lost Jeff here for a second. See if I can get him back. Jeff, you back?
I see you, bro. I hear you on a thing, but I'm not doing the Facebook Live. But you guys let me know, or Pat know. What do you guys think? How is this going to turn out? Is this going to be fine here in a couple weeks? Maybe just some bumps in the road for a few weeks, 6-8 weeks. Do you see?
Hey, you guys have any questions? Anything that you're seeing around the country? Let us know.
Because something I'm noticing, bro, and it's
Will city water be working? I would hope so, Wes. Would hope so, Wes. Wes, you're a veteran. You were a gunship pilot, brother. You're a damn hero.
You got that
water
5-point earthquake in Utah today. Their water's not working out because of the power losses. That's horrible fucking timing.
Right, and
God hates Mormons, dude.
The fighter Josh, doggone it, I have to pull it up on my phone. Josh Berkman said, who was it? Lost his trumpet. The on the top of the church.
Miles Davis?
On the Mormon church.
Oh.
The angel that's got the trumpet.
Oh, Gabriel.
I believe he lost his trumpet during the earthquake, and Berkman's pointing out, he's going, that's a little prophetic. 7 trumpets sounding, the mark of the beast.
Oh, yeah, that is what? Revelations, right? Yeah.
Gotta get a vaccine if you want to come back to work or go back to school, buddy.
Ooh, that's another one, champ. That's another one, everyone. All right.
Get a vaccine for this if you want to go back to work.
Yeah. What about it, parents? What about it? Are you guys down for the vaccine? And this is the other part.
Ravens, truckers are planning 24/7 workloads. Nice.
This is what fear-based trauma-based and fear-based conditioning does, dude. Scare the shit out of people, and then they'll fucking accept anything. What? In order to stay alive, I have to make out with Hillary Clinton? Fuck yes, dude. Let's do it.
This is there's a gentleman who owns the taco bar in Davenport, Iowa, for any of you people that work in the food industry from the Quad Cities. If there's anybody watching, he is cooking food. He's serving people who are only people in the food industry. I was going to go over just to say hi to the guy. He's just wanting to treat his fellow folks in the food and service industry
Good for you. That's awesome.
To free meals and stuff. So the taco bar in Davenport, Iowa. I've not been there before, but I'm going to drive over there tomorrow just to say hi to him and shake his hand.
I will come over there tonight, and I will be the guy in the head-to-toe white Tyvek suit. So hook a brother up. Oh, Jack, what's up? Sound like Darth Vader.
Nando Saldivar, blessings from Cambodia. How you doing, buddy?
Nando Saldivar.
Tony Benavides, where are these arrests? Make them public. Jeffrey's going to tell you that's hope porn, brother.
Ain't no fucking arrest, dude. They did it with Weinstein's not really arrested. Tom Hanks got arrested in Australia with his wife. They arrested Oprah the other day. I'm like, come on,
John Groves, this is kind of important here. John Groves saying 72-hour grave turn with a question mark. What happened to George Pardo's podcast and having the Neanderthal gene for immunity? This isn't about, John, this isn't about the financial collapse that the virus is being used to camouflage, dude. This is bigger than a virus that's going to kill some folks and make some folks sick. This is
well, I mean,
it's a little bigger.
if he doesn't mind me addressing that part, I mean, George is awesome. He's obviously not a stupid gentleman, and so I never any of our conversations we have with anybody, I don't necessarily take it as gospel. It's just always good to get different perspectives, just informed perspectives. And so if I disagree with it, I'm not going to necessarily put him on blast and say I disagree. But you know, George kind of vacillated and has, through his studies, kind of changed his opinion of this not being man-made, and what we're seeing as far as the response is warranted. He's entitled to that opinion, man. He's not a fucking CIA agent or anything. He just changed his opinion. I'm with that. You know what I mean? I don't want to, you know, that's the cool thing. And that's why I told him last night, it was when we had him on, you know, he doesn't have his opinion, or his opinion doesn't have him. You know, he has an opinion and he's willing through the evidence to, you know, see more things. Do I agree with it 100%? No. I think this is an asymmetrical war, utilizing bioweapons. And when I say asymmetrical, not just bioweapons, we're looking at economic war. Read the book from John Perkins, Diary of an Economic Hitman, how you can go in and implode a company or a country through their economics. A lot going on, man. A lot fucking going on. And let me tell you what's really pissing me off, and I think it's really the mark of the beast coming over the hill, is Tom Brady is now playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Shut up, Pardos. You sound like George Pardo.
Chavello in the building. The voice.
Michael Chavello, buddy. How's things down there in Australia, man? Hope things are good.
Hey, Chavello, if you are listening right now, your little dance party with Jean-Claude Van Damme went viral, and I saw it on a couple of very, very big podcasts. So keep up the dance fever with my man, with Jean-Claude. It was weird because the music was playing that he was dancing to, but the moves didn't quite match. So I thought he might have had in earbuds and was listening to like his own song, because he was kind of Rhythmless Nation going on. But it looks like everybody was having fun.
Yeah, sounded like there was a big crowd there for Michael and Jean-Claude.
Dude, Michael's so awesome. We got to get him back on, dude. I need more Michael Chavello in my life. Seriously, that dude he just got them vibes, man. He just reeks Brainiac.
Getting panicky down here, Michael says.
Someone sent me a message like, you guys sent Tom Hanks down here and got us sick. Someone from Australia, one of our fans in Australia, was bitching at us because we Westerners over here sent over that bloke. Tom Hanks.
Jim Leonard, I've always said that 80% of gun owners will give up their Second Amendment with zero fight. I have to argue with that. I mean, there's going to be certainly some people who are going to be afraid and hand over their guns. I'm certainly not going to, because I already lost them all in a boat accident. But the main thing is most people are going to, I think, hold on to their guns. And there's a lot of people, I've talked to 3 or 4 people who have never owned guns in their lives, and they're shopping for them right now.
What if it's not even the guns they're coming after, bro? That's why I said a little bit ago, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
are you guys, hold on, wait. Is everybody okay with this mandatory vaccine that's going to come out here in a minute, giving it to your kids? Are you going to line up and take it like nobody's business because we're so scared and we just want this to end? Are we going to kind of recognize this could be a Trojan horse, a wolf in sheep's clothing, whatever the fuck you want to call it? Something bigger than...
Well, they're talking about, on CNN, I tell you what, man, I have to watch mainstream media, and I know you do too, just to see what kind of bullshit they're trying to sell us. But, they're talking a real vaccine being up to a year out, 18 months out, and potentially, this sort of lockdown lasting until they get a vaccine. I said, how the fuck are you going to do that? You can't do that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Bill...
Millions of people will die in the meantime. So you've completely defeated the purpose. But that's the whole object of this Agenda 21 and Georgia Guidestones and everything else that we've talked about in the past is about, Bill Gates and his father's dream of eugenics and thinning the herd down to half a billion people on the planet.
I thought it was 500,000. I thought it was really low.
No, 500 million.
Yeah, I thought you said billion.
Yeah,
no, but today, Bill Gates released the news that the virus, a virus for first responders and medical officials, will be available sooner than they thought. Because
a vaccine?
What did I say? I'm sorry.
A virus.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, a vaccine. The Freudian slip there. He's already provided the virus.
Christy Bowerstock, yes. I have heard about the potential internet and social media shutdown. Certainly if Jeffrey and I keep talking like this, they're going to shut our ass down. They've done it already numerous times. So I just got back on Facebook today. I was kicked off for 3 days again for posting fake news. So
Well, let me tell you something they are realizing, obviously, for months and years, is the power of the podcast and new media and how this alternative media is changing shit. But I just saw the other day, like, everyone's now getting a webcam, or like everyone's starting their own pod. You know what I mean? Everyone's just kind of absorbing content, which is cool. And I'm glad we're able to, with our audience that we've carved out over these years, be able to come to everybody and have these fireside chats.
All right. Joni Abbott. Hi, Joni. She said vaccine just underwent some human, and I do remember seeing that, just underwent some human trials. Out west, people rolled up their sleeves for $1,100. The guy giving the injection was wearing a mask, gloves, and goggles. Can't be good. No, it's not good, Joni.
Who would want to be a freaking crash test dummy for that? My God.
Hey, lab rat Jimmy, come here.
Okay, come here.
Are we going to see a mass migration to other states? I wouldn't doubt it if people are going to be running to the flyover states.
Well, and it sounds like the lockdown from a military standpoint, and I could be wrong, is going to be regional first. It's not going to be a full. They're not going to go to necessarily Sioux City, Iowa. It'll be more larger metropolitan states where obviously there's more cases. So I think it's going to kind of start incrementally, and then they'll kind of spread out as necessary. But it'll be like when the Guard was here during Ferguson and all that other. I mean, I live literally about 30 miles from Ferguson, and there were Humvees and stuff at my grocery store like half a block away. So, I mean, it can happen. Cole Carrera, 345 mafiosos arrested in Italy, 7 high priests removed from the Vatican, Uzbek princess arrested today. Vaccine has been getting tested in the military for at least 1 week. Well, I think we brought that up last night. I mean, that I don't think this is a cover for that, because that could just be a raid on 345 mafiosos. That's not unheard of. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. That going on, and then also the Mexican drug cartel over, I think, 200, we'll just say 250 drug cartel members were arrested here in the United States. I will say, when you talk about the Catholic priests and everything else, that a Catholic priest here in Davenport, Iowa, I won't say his name right now, but he is on the staff at a local university, and he is being charged for crimes against children. And so, look, man, this stuff may very well be taking place. I'm not going to say it's the reason it's happening.
I mean, it might be a spoke on the wheel, but there's no way they would do to the global economy. In my opinion, I don't know shit, but
unless the reset involves killing the Federal Reserve and bringing back a gold-backed currency, I don't necessarily believe that there are that many white hats in government that are going to do it, or within the banking sector.
Well, and another thing of teasing all this out, like, the mafiosos, which is probably legit, and all those other arrests. Then you hear the shit about Weinstein. Then you hear the shit about Tom Hanks and Oprah. That's the byproduct of kind of this asymmetrical stuff. We're just so busy reacting, wondering. It's about as irrelevant to talk about who dropped the rock in the pond that created all these ripples. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the ripples and how big that's going to be. Who dropped that stone in the pond to create the ripples? Yes, let's have that conversation, definitely. But at this point,
right,
we're in this is survival mode, bro. Seriously, like you said, this is unprecedented.
Well, it certainly is, and as I said before, everything as far as economic downturns of this magnitude, which
has it ever happened? Is this?
Well, this one's probably going to be bigger than all of them, but I pray it's not. I pray that we recover. I pray that something's going on that helps us recover. But it doesn't
honestly,
look very promising right now. But everything in history tells us that what follows all of this stuff is war, unfortunately. So,
well, they say it's always darkest before the dawn, and I don't mind a little bit of a reset, because that's kind of what has to happen sometimes. We talk about ancient civilizations. There's been these cataclysms that have seen civilizations rise and fall because of them. But when it's engineered like this, that's what's bothersome. Because, like you said, it's just the genesis, in my opinion. I mean, they don't care about bodying millions of us. They never have.
Interesting here, Mike Matley. I heard that several states have told highway maintenance employees that they must stay within borders in case they need to shut down the roads. waterworks employees told they can't leave the country or must go in 14-day quarantine without pay. Who put the soap in the toothpaste? Good one, Ian.
Jeez, man.
Tony Benavides, Dr. Shiva said, China cannot find patient zero.
Yeah, I saw that.
Whom do y'all think was the first?
But that's why I was so troubled. Not troubled, but I was weirded out by George saying it was not man-made. Because I thought he said through a genetic marker or the mitochondria that was the telltale sign, which that sounds like that was some science. Some science was applied to come up with that. So to like reverse that, like, oh no, there was. I don't know. Just was weird.
Well, he kind of waffled back and forth a little bit on that, but because look, it's morphing and it's becoming deadly to people that potentially have more than the Neanderthal gene, right? We know that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, because the Neanderthal gene has to be all over Europe, and they're getting. I mean, what 400 deaths?
Some scientists and virologists are saying that it is changing. It's becoming more dangerous for younger people. So there's so much information being thrown out.
Exactly.
It's hard to keep up with it all.
Like the whole this
Christina,
is 10 times
bigger than the Great Depression. I don't know. Nobody knows, but it looks.
Well,
big.
somebody knows. I mean, there's a way to kind of equate and make up for inflation since whatever the depression was. I mean, there's a way to compare the two. I'm just not smart enough to do it. Because I think then they didn't have those stopgap measures like they do now, like whatever they said, the blown servers or blown circuit. What you heard how they like blew out the electricity or whatever like twice or three times here in the last few weeks. I mean, that something stops when it starts trading so low, it stops. Whereas back then it just fell, free fall.
Right. How long did China keep this under wraps, dude?
Well,
dude,
what,
between 1 and 2 months.
When was that when you were sick?
For 1 to 2 months on this.
When was that when you were sick?
I was sick in January. I was myself, and here's the thing. I'll go back to that because thank you for reminding me. I did a show in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We stayed at the Route 66 casino, and I'm not blaming the casino. I'm just saying that that's where our whole crew stayed when we were doing the show. A large number of people from our crew got very sick. I probably was as sick as any of them. My lungs sounded like 2 bowls of soup for 10 days. I had violent shakes. I'm telling you, violent shakes for a couple days down on the couch in my basement. My couple of my kids did get sick, but they fought it off really well. My wife got really sick, not near as sick as I was, but she was sick. And the thing is I do have an immune system thing where I have it's actually gone away a lot, but I have psoriasis. So that's an autoimmune thing, and people with autoimmune situations are more vulnerable to this apparently. And I got very, very sick. It was a rough one for me. But several of the guys got as sick as I did also. And then I got a message from a fighter's father and said that they both got very, very sick too. And with upper respiratory infections. And I just saw a doctor had posted, and he said, let me guess, were any of you sick in December or January, November, December, or January, and you went to the doctors and they tested you for the flu and it came back negative, and they told you it was an a severe upper respiratory infection, and you got some high-powered antibiotics for it, which is my case. And he said, you had the coronavirus. It was already here. And that just reconfirmed for me that I had that shit. So,
which is hard when a lot of these cases, man. There was a lot of people I've known were sick over these last few months. Until this stuff came out, but it's hard to differentiate. Like, oh shit, this is flu season, so I just assumed it's flu, like most people, till you go get tested for it. So, like Christina Kepi, I think this is like you just said, it's been around for a minute.
Yeah, Shawnee James. I was so sick around the time this started in China. First sickness, my daughter too. Missed many months of school. Respiratory flu-like. Yeah, you probably had it too. I know my wife has the coronavirus during December. Dry cough, flu-like symptoms.
So again,
That
I was saying
lasted for weeks.
That's
the thing that this doctor said. If it lasted for 2 weeks or longer, so this stuff has been running around, man.
Yeah, and
I'm telling you.
it's not killing people in the numbers they want it to. They don't want people to die. Like I said last night, once the host dies, then the virus dies with it. They just want it to spread. So, like we've said, to use it as cover for this larger shit that's about to drop.
It's already dropped.
Well, I mean, bro, come on. This
more coming.
This isn't even fucking Act 1 or Chapter 1. This is the acknowledgments and the intro. I mean, this is just the beginning of the beginning. And people like romanticizing this shit. Fucking Red Dawn, Wolverines. Like, all right, motherfucker, remember that.
Hey, Jackson Coyle. So the warm weather coming in the summer is not going to help. Jackson, I don't know, man. I'm not a virologist. I'm not an expert in this stuff. I just know in reading between the lines on.
Well, I heard somebody address that other
on.
countries that are warm right now are still affected by it. So it's not necessarily the temperature or the climate that determines. I mean, normally you would think viruses can't last that long, but apparently, from what I'm seeing, countries that are already warm do have cases. So
I've got a lot of people coming on here saying that they're sure that they had it too. Ron Tursak, Christine Kepi-Lynch.
Yeah.
Co-workers whom are women talking about getting guns. Human instincts should not be overlooked. Speaks volumes. Whether this is a test run for something bigger or not. That's
at this point, I would not even.
I wouldn't. The Hammer, Ben Euchre.
I mean, because again, man, and I hate to sound like I mean, it's such a great point, Pat, when you made it. Look at how people are fucking behaving, and their bellies are full. Their phones are still on. They still got their Xbox and their TV on. I mean, it's all, taking care of them necessities. But wait until those are gone. And
well, that's the thing is, those kids out there in New York almost stomped the life out of that poor girl and stole her shoes off her feet. And yeah, those kids all did that on full bellies. Wait till they haven't had food for 3 days, brother. This gets everybody's out of work.
Yeah. It's going to create
most people are living paycheck to paycheck, man. You and I are not wealthy people.
No.
Contrary to what people think, I am not wealthy. I'm just a middle class guy, man.
And again, what does it fucking matter if they give you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 if those dollars ain't worth shit? That's that bread and circus, man. All of this is a slow appeasement until they drop the fucking hammer, man. Really? Now all of a sudden you're giving literally every fucking person in the United States $1,000 or every adult over 18? Wow.
Well, I've got 3 children and a wife. I've got more dependents than you, so I'm probably going to end up getting $4,500.
Well, and I know
they can't do it. They can't do it.
It's just
they can't do it. We're going to be carrying wheelbarrows of cash around to pay for loaves of bread. This is the Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Where money was, they were printing $1 million bills.
It's not funny. I mean, it is. I mean, this is, and I'm not an economist. Anybody who's smarter, is this not hyperinflation 101? Flood the fucking market with cash while everyone's out of work at the same time. Wow, how's that work?
Yeah. So economic, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't, and we're about to see it. We don't even. I mean, we know. A lot of us know. But, I mean, again, can't quite fathom the depths. I mean, we see how, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, in the end, just know, for all you people out there listening, get your ass to the grocery store while you still can. Get what you can. Load up. Be safe. If you've got the ability to purchase a gun and some ammo, make sure you do it.
And, I saw you, I think you showed me or somebody showed me the produce aisle was empty, ladies and gentlemen. We all know a diet full of raw diet of fruits and vegetables is really how you live optimum level, dude. And if you can't find them on the shelves, and oftentimes if they're there, they're GMO, straight up. Chemical-free body, green 85. Yep. I just grabbed 3 bottles yesterday. That stuff is so beyond jam-packed full of nutrients, micronutrients, and vitamins. Just throw it in your water, and you literally have your full dose of vitamins and vegetables for the day. Just drink it in the morning like I do, and you're done. It jacks up your immune system, your energy. You'll shit better. You'll sleep better. Ridiculous, dude. So again, go to theconspiracyfarm.com, click the Chemical Free Body logo, and get all bunch. We got immune boosting stuff, CBD oil. Gut cleanse. Again, I had no idea more serotonin was produced in your gut than your brain. I mean, we all need to be on point right now, dude. So health is wealth. Get that good shit. ChemicalFreeBody.com /farmer. And obviously we'll support the farm, support the show, because Pat and I are, as they say, self-quarantining and working from home. And we appreciate
this
you
is
guys.
very interesting. Kevin T brings this up. Very observant, actually. Get your status right, boys, and make sure you sign the proper way for any government checks, because they could consider your signature on those checks to be a settlement of the debt you are owed for backing the debt of the federal government.
Well, I think we do that when we are born. We had that conversation with Todd McGreevy.
Yeah, we have social security numbers. We're already on the
Yeah,
hook
we're
for it,
already
right?
locked in. That's
Somebody
a great
else here,
episode.
Michael
Check
Robertson, my fiance and kids had it around December, early January. Hard to clear out the chest, congestion for 2 weeks. Yep, that was probably it.
Vitamin A
Grain
and C
prices
help.
keep falling, and that's something. I stopped in a small. I was coming back from North Dakota. Stopped in a small town in just north of the Iowa border, and basically the town was a couple houses. You could see the farms off in the distance. Massive grain silos where farmers come and drop off their grain, get their trucks weighed and everything. And the gas station, didn't even have a receptacle for the credit card. You had to go in and pay cash only at this gas station. And went in, and it was basically it looked like a Tractor Supply shop in this gas station. And I talked to the guy inside, and I said, "Hey, man, how the farmers doing around here? I know grain prices." I was, listening to, reports on farm prices and everything. Grain's dropping hard. Pork. He just looked at me and he goes, "This is going to be a rough year, man. It's going to be a bad situation."
To put it
for
lightly.
farmers, so.
Well, and a lot of these.
Well, here's the thing. This every time this happens, and remember why my brain opened up when I was 6 years old, standing in line at the Farmers National Bank in Albany, Iowa. That the farm crash was happening and everybody was rushing, getting their cash out. That was the start of corporations buying up land and corporate farming starting. Farmers are going to start getting foreclosed on. Corporations are going to continue to buy up those farms. And remember what we talked about in Agenda 21. It's all about getting people into the urban areas and out of the rural areas, and food production being controlled by corporations, government. That's all part of Agenda 21. So people have to be paying attention to this stuff. And I tell you what, man, if somebody was smart, they would get together with a lot of average Joes who have a little bit of extra money, and everybody throw their money into the farming and keep it with the little people instead of these corporations.
Well, bro, I think it's going to tease out, but I think that's where things are going to go. We've already seen it, with our local farmers markets, etc. But something you brought up, I know you were talking about the spot you went to was cash only. A lot of these restaurants that are allowed to stay open, some of them anyway, are just doing to-goes and takeout, but they're not accepting cash. It's all just straight digital. So this is another aspect of what people are saying, getting rid of cash, bringing in digital currency.
Right. You're right, Michael Meggers. China is buying up some stuff, and I think that
they have been. Yeah,
I know that they're. I know that they were forced to sell back one of the West Coast ports to the United States.
The Long Island one. They did, but they still run the Panama Canal.
Right. So the Chinese are taking control of a lot of ports around the world for debt that is owed to them by countries. So,
did you know that the Chinese run the Panama Canal?
Yeah, well, they do.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Most people probably did.
Which administration gave that up?
That was Clinton, I believe. Yeah.
Was that?
Imagine that. Henry Wu.
Somebody help us out with that one.
Hurry up and buy. Yeah, so it's...
And hunting permission gets tougher. That's worse on me than fasting. John Groves, yeah, I know you love to hunt, buddy. Hey, listen, man, I've got a flock of freaking geese that hang out across the road from my house out here in the country. Those some bitches are going to get hit with a bow.
Dude,
I'll keep it nice and quiet. I'll get some geese with the bow. I don't care.
Dude, you
I'll
got
do
deer
whatever I
out
do.
there too, man. When the shit hits the fan, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're out here too, Pat." It's gonna be like everybody. But no, part of these provisions with national states of emergency, Agenda 21, et cetera, like the seizure of public lands and private lands for whatever their need. I mean, it just so much shit becomes possible when it's not normally possible as far as suspension of normal rights when these things have been declared, which they already have. So we're already in the mix of it, but we just haven't read the fine print.
I'm going to come in, save us all by taking all of our rights and make us all safe, and everybody's going to accept it, aren't they?
Yeah. That's how trauma-based conditioning. That's how trauma-based conditioning works. And then we become Stockholm syndrome kids, and then we're just like we love the people who are doing it to us. Like hence when we line up for these vaccines, not all of us, but they're fucking us. They're gonna kill us and all that other whatever, however you want to look at it, collapse the economy. But as they provide the solution to the problem that they started, we're gonna line up and thank them for it. Jesse Wilbur, what's up, dude?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. For already offering to get me new glasses. That's very good of you guys. Look, I will. I wore a pair of reading glasses for so long; they were so destroyed. I had to keep popping the lenses back in them; they were so wrecked that my producer went and bought me like a value pack of like 8 pairs of reading glasses one time a couple of years ago. They lasted me for quite a while. There was 8 of them, so. But it was very kind of him. He just got sick of looking at me with my crooked glasses. So that's, hey, man, I can sneak up on people this way. Look at this. Do I look threatening right now?
I got a delay on my. Oh no, hold on. Let me go to my Skype.
I don't look real threatening like this. See, so
you don't look threatening anyway, Pat.
I can sneak up on people that way. If there's an issue.
Hey, do you think? Have you heard the prognostication that we're going to see? I forget what they called them, Corona, whatever, a baby boom essentially here in 9 months.
Well, if my wife was here, I mean, I'd know something about that. She's supposed to be returning soon with the kids. So.
Yeah. Not just you necessarily, but do you think that could be real? We're going to see, because I think they're going to force.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely. It just, there was a boom from the 9/11 thing.
Or weirdly inversely, because we all seem, present company included, we all seem to like hate so many of our mates. A lot of homicides could be taking place, I'm just saying, generally speaking, there tends to be a lot of, there's adversarial relationships within a lot of, and familiarity breeds contempt. What do they call it? What are they calling this when we stay in the house all the time? Stir crazy or whatever the fuck. Either that could go really good or really bad in a lot of people. Some guys and some girls are like, that's the whole thing. Yes, I get to go to work and be away from this motherfucker. Now they have to be there.
Well, that's the thing. I'm on the road, I'm on the road a lot for broadcasts and stuff, but that's not happening because so many shows have been canceled. Thank you, Elizabeth. Nice Princess Cup. Yes, that's a little cartoon witch there. I've got a 6-year-old daughter, so that's she's got her cups. But no, I'm usually on the road, so I'm going to be around a lot. So my 15-year-old who's a swimmer, my 17-year-old who's got a scholarship to go to college for rowing and academics.
Woot woot.
The Ys are closed. The gyms are closed. They can't even work out. I don't have a rower here. I don't have a big enough swimming pool for my 15-year-old to do laps in. So
Everyone's
we're going to
have
a lot of kickboxing. We're going to keep in shape. I'm going to train my daughters up to kick the shit out of people. They're going to be machines by the time this quarantine is up.
Cabin
my
fever,
kids loose, man. They're my bodyguards here pretty quick.
Everyone's going to have to go Rocky IV on this shit, dude. Seriously, break it down to the brass tacks.
Well,
it'll be
I've
interesting.
got a friend in North Dakota who is doing a program. It's actually brilliant. She's doing a lot of in-home training, stuff, online training. A lot of her clients have home gyms and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of online stuff. She's doing stuff even for children.
I think I know who you're talking about. I saw some of her posts the other day. I guess I don't want to say her name if you don't want to, but now that's a great idea. People are starting to get very resourceful. What do they say? Necessity is the father or the mother of invention, and that's going to be tested for a lot of people.
Yeah. So, and North Dakota is going to lead the way with her ideas in terms of, look, man, there's a lot of kids that are not doing PE class. They're not doing sports. They're not doing a lot of stuff. And, there's not a lot of people out there. I guess, I coached for a lot of years, so I know how to coach. I know how to get people in shape. I know how to keep people in shape. So that's what I'm going to do with my kids, man. I'm going to have a blast with them. I'm going to teach my 6-year-old how to do all this. We're going to do functional fitness workouts. We're going to do a lot of stuff and have a blast. And everybody should be out there looking up YouTube videos on workouts, doing all kinds of stuff like that with their kids to pass the time.
Yeah,
right.
Something outdoors, man. I mean, we can't just. And that's the other thing people were saying. The reason we are more resilient because we're outdoors. We're being exposed to this and this and this. But the more we're inside, the more we're using this hand sanitizer, the more frail we're gonna get. So when we do step out and get exposed, it's like done. Cancel Christmas.
Yeah. I don't know. Would people sign up if I were to do an online training course while I train my kids? You can be training your kids if you go get
that would be awesome.
Focus mitts and gloves to train your kids. I can teach you how to coach.
That'd be
teach
awesome.
you how to hold pads for your kids. Teach them how to punch and kick. Teach them how to throw elbows, how to throw knees, how to do a bunch of good stuff. We can do some all kinds of stuff. So I don't know if people would be interested in that.
That would be cool, dude. That'd be really cool.
Do some online stuff. So.
And if anybody wants pictures of my feet, I'll set up a little Cash app and we can make some money around here.
Make some money, yeah.
That's a thing, dude. That's really a thing.
Donate to the farm by going to our sponsors. Look, our sponsors have great products. C4 concealed carry clothing. I'm wearing one right now. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Mike Kendall. I'm telling Mike Kendall, dude, if they go to Cameo, people go to cameo.com, who have a voice, and people are paying some pretty nice bread for people to get customized voice messages. And, I think I saw Vince Neil. I mean, there's a lot of people on there do comics, musicians. Just it's really cool to see how people are getting very resourceful in ways to make money, which is interesting because, part of this conversation is the money might not possibly be worth shit here in a minute. But yeah,
so
there's that.
This old Ruger 9mm was a gift to me from a good friend who might actually be watching. I saw that he was on, but hollow points. But the C4 clothing, this is neoprene, really, really comfortable, and there you go. And you just walk around with a sidearm, and you're good to go, man.
I like that one too.
Quick, easy access, and that's the way it goes.
The designs are amazing. I mean, you got vests like that where you can hold extra clips, your phone. You got shorts. You got women's bras, which are really cool.
The women's clothing, that C4 clothing, is really cool because they can wear skirts and dresses and stuff, and you have no idea that they're carrying. They could have 4 magazines, 2 guns, a knife, a cell phone, and you don't even know they have it on them. The neoprene like Spanx type shorts and stuff, and yeah, they're packing some serious weaponry.
The C4.com, ladies and gentlemen, one of our awesome sponsors. Actually, in the next couple of days, we have a new sponsor. We've had a few lined up, and we're locking them all in one at a time, but we will have in the next day or two the announcement of another sponsor. I'm so stoked for it, bro. So stoked. You don't even know. But yeah,
that's the one that's going to cause the baby boom.
No, not that one. Well, it might because it'll make me look so fucking pretty. But yeah, that one too will do a little something as well. But yeah, check out. I mean, you want your freezer stocked with the good shit, man. The butcherbox.com /farmer. A lot of people are. I mean, this has been blowing up as well. Just organic chicken, organic salmon, grass-fed beef, heritage pork. It is no joke whatsoever. And of course, like we said, preparewiththefarm.com. It's better to need it, not have it. And at this point, it's becoming pretty clear that we're going to need it. So not that the stores will be closed, but you just never know. Some people take that hunkering down stuff very seriously when they say don't leave.
Can anybody out there still call preppers idiots?
I know, right? Well, and like you wrote
about out there.
I'm sorry.
Who makes the concealed shirt? Gino, is C4 Concealed Clothing. Jeff, give them the website again.
TheC4.com. A very good friend of mine, Pamela Johnson, is the proprietor, female owned. She's an absolute beast, and the designs are really sweet as well. Not only does it
very,
look
very comfortable. I've got a couple of different designs of this. I've got another one with a lot more pockets for mags and stuff. So yeah, it's really great products.
The variety that you find on there, it's not just what Pat just showed you. There's shirts that you can bust open. They're not buttons, but they're magnets. Yeah, really. And
yeah, I've got one of those shirts also with the magnets, so you can just pop it open and get to business if you have to defend yourself. So really, really good stuff. But
yeah, buddy.
You know, there was something else I was going to bring up there that I forgot. I got sidetracked for a second. Thank you. We know we can't use your real name. I use Patriot Supply for food prepping. I won't use your real name. And the price range, look, just go to the website, you guys. C4, the C4?
TheC4.com. The prices differ for whatever product you're getting. Like I said, the shorts, man. Yeah. The shorts you can wear into your athletic shorts. And like Pat was saying, there's no printing at all. I mean, you won't even know. Whether it's the shorts, the shirts, the vest, the undergarments, like Pat said, you can wear, women can wear, and even the bras, how she stylized some of the bras. It's dope, dude. She's always been super talented. I've known her forever, and her design ability's always really been on point, and she's married that with a very functional line, which is thec4.com.
Right. So now let's talk our American journalists being kicked out of China a little bit. So China booted them out. China said that our military was responsible for this Wuhan virus. S3K9, yes. Anyway, but you know, Trump said when he was asked about that today, he goes, I don't like any of those people. He goes, but what China's doing is wrong. You know, what China's doing is wrong.
Christ, dude.
And he's straight up gangster. You know, he's like, yeah, those people are assholes, but you know, China shouldn't be kicking them out. But it's just very, very to the point.
Fuck, I told somebody the other day, but when it's all said and done, somebody's going to like compile like it'll be like a 10-hour clip of video of just his one-liners of just fucking comedy gold. I don't know if you saw the other day where he picked up the piece of paper and held it out to the side and like dropped it. I forget who he was talking. It's not even about politics. The guy's I'm a professional wrestling fan. He's the best heel ever. Fuck.
He is. He really is. So, I mean, do you honestly think Joe Biden has a chance to beat Trump if an election is held, if martial law isn't implemented and the election is just completely done away with? Do you think that Biden actually has a chance?
Bo Biden? No, I think he's going to go in, he'll pick Hillary, and he'll have to step down because he is suffering from dementia. Then
what if he picks Michelle Obama?
I don't think he will. I was thinking he might even go for Tulsi. Because, like, where the fuck did Tulsi Gabbard go? They just removed her from the equation.
DNC ran her off the stage. And Democrats are idiots for allowing it to happen.
See, I don't know. I don't know. You might be right.
Tulsi Gabbard's the only one out of the whole bunch that had any brains, to be honest with you.
Or any real juice, dude. She had juice, and that's why we've talked about for years. Like, who are the Democrats have that has juice? Usually they go for these, especially now after Obama. You got to have that kind of, that Quan, like Jerry Maguire, that little bit of star quality and shit. And like, wow, Bernie's the star. Not that Joe's the star. What?
Yeah, Bernie Sanders. I've said it before. Bernie Sanders can't even manage his own fucking hair, let a nation, let alone a nation. It's just like he rubbed a balloon all over it.
No, I forget. I think I saw something where he had it cleaned up. He did a little high and tight. I'm like, oh shit, somebody got to my man's due. Finally.
Yeah, I can't get over Biden's. I wanted to work on my impression of Biden, but just listening to him talk about the kids at the pool, it's like trying to get the black vote. I worked at the pool. I was the only white guy there. And all the kids, I had long hair on my legs and hairy legs, and the kids would come up and they'd rub the hair down on my legs and then watch it stand back up. And I know about cockroaches and I know about kids and I like kids sitting on my lap.
That's like
listen to the guy and go, this guy is
That's about as bad as
this guy's no prayer. He's going to forget where he's at during debates.
Fuck yeah, dude. He's got full on Wilford Brimley onset dementia going on. Hey, you remember when Hillary Clinton went on not One of the Park, Breakfast Club? You know, it's a black radio station, urban radio station in New York. And the bitch
she pulled Tabasco out of her purse.
They're like, "What is something that you always have in your purse?" And she literally, fucking hand to God, with a straight face, pulled out a bottle of hot sauce, man.
What did every black person across the country do at that point?
Well, I mean, Charlemagne the God, one of the hosts, was like, "Oh, see now, Hillary, they're going to accuse you of pandering to black people," and she literally again, with a straight face, said, "Is it working?" Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, John Groves, Obama endorsed Bernie. What's that say about Creepy Joe?
Yeah, he can't even get an endorsement from his own president. That's how weird this all is, dude. Wow. It's never worked that way. The president, the former president always endorses, or if the vice president runs like that. Like, when does that never happen? I don't know.
Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Yeah.
We are in unprecedented territory, bro. This is... I'm glad, and we obviously going to keep having these conversations because I have to find ways to bring a levity to my day. You know, some new Netflix specials, some comedy specials. Burt Kreischer just came out. Can't wait for my boy Tom Segura's shit that comes out next week. Because I got to be able to laugh, dude, because it's so dire what's about to go down, what's going down, and what's about to go down.
Well, I mean, you've got time to be working on your stand-up comedy.
Yeah. Who says
Right?
I haven't been already, Joe? Come on now. Talking about my new girlfriend, who she texted me, who she told me. I asked her, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Connection lost again.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Jeff is. I was supposed to be opening on May 1st for Tammy Pescatelli, actually, here in town, but that event has, of course, been
No way.
probably pushed back. So Tammy Pescatelli, I was supposed to be opening for her, and then there's a gentleman that lives here in town who I've seen him before on comedy specials and stuff. He's actually very funny, and I've talked to him a couple times, and he lives here now. He's from New Jersey. Big tall Jewish guy. He's funnier than shit, and he's a stand-up comic. He's been in the business for a long time, but he lives in Bettendorf now. And so I talked to him, and he said he's going to sit down with me and teach me a little bit.
That'd be great. Comedy. Well, even so, I
would love to, because in my mind that is the hardest.
Oh God,
that's the hardest gig there is in terms of any kind of speaking engagement, man.
Making people laugh. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it's one thing to just sit here and bullshit and make people laugh. It's another thing to get up in front of the crowd and have the timing and the talent to make people laugh. That is very, very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. So, but he is one funny dude. And just holding conversations with him, you can tell everywhere he goes, it doesn't matter. He's practicing his stand-up comedy on everybody he's around constantly. Like when he's at the store, the clerks are laughing, everybody's laughing. Shit. So
right.
He's constantly practicing.
Yeah, always working on material, always. That'd be good stuff, and it'll help when we do finally get on the road. That'll help, writing, get us.
Greg Watson from Australia. Thank you, buddy.
Good day, mate.
Sorry to cut you off there, Jeff.
No, it's all right.
Said, "Hey, legends, keep it real. Love you. We're from Australia."
Hey, Craig, man.
Thank you for even watching from the other side of the planet.
Listen, Craig, we do big numbers in Australia, and we're taking this bad boy on the road eventually. If you, I don't know who you are necessarily, but if you could help facilitate us finding a decent location for us to do the Conspiracy Farm Live in Australia, that would be amazing, because we do great numbers in Australia.
I don't know if they'll let us in. They still have the Queen on their money over there, bro.
Well, I mean, believe me, other stand-up comics who say much worse than us have been over there. So we'll see how it works out. I just throwing it out there because, again, we have a nice sized audience in Australia. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
That doesn't exist, actually.
Doesn't
over
it?
there? No.
I don't know. That was a
and the bloomin' onion and all the other shit they invented at Outback Steakhouse. None of that exists.
The bloomin' onion.
Michael Chavello laughed at me when I started asking him. He's like, "No, that doesn't. We don't say that."
Oh my God, that's right. Does he live in Australia or New Zealand?
Australia.
Oh, okay.
I believe Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Yes, one of the most talented men I've ever worked with. I can tell you.
Man.
Very, very talented guy, man. He
He's got a new
He
book.
does not screw up. He does not screw up. I don't think I've ever seen him screw up an open of a show in my life. And I worked with him for 7 or 8 years. And just exceptionally talented, brilliant guy. His IQ is off the charts.
First of all, he has a new book called Goodnight Irene, Michael Chiavello. It is out now. Go check it out.
Yeah.
And if you want to piss yourself laughing, ladies and gentlemen, listen to Michael Chiavello and Pat Miletich call a fight. I forget what the other guy's name was, but the one guy's last name was Myanus. Holy crap. Myanus is taking a pounding. I mean, geez, did you keep it together? How'd you do that? Like, did you just zone out?
I got to plug my phone in here, and I got to balance it on the charging cord here somehow. So hold on one moment. I can tell you that after the weigh-ins, and we talk to each athlete that's fighting on TV, right? We interview them, we talk about what's going on in their life, and after those interviews, and we got done with production meetings and everything, Michael and I are walking back to go get dinner, and Michael, in his Australian accent, holds the piece of paper and he points at the guy's name and he goes, how do I pronounce this? And I said, Myanus. And I said, you better hope he doesn't start bleeding in the fight. And all of it came true. He started bleeding. So Myanus was bleeding all over his opponent.
Oh!
Myanus. He went as far as he said, things like, Pat, the doctor has stepped into the cage to have a look at Myanus.
So he knew what he was doing after. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
Okay.
The CEO of Access TV Fights, whom we were working for at the time, Mark Cuban's network, the CEO of Access TV Fights, who usually had a set of cans on listening to the show, he had to take his off, and he literally could hardly walk. He was laughing so hard, and he had to leave. The entire production truck was in cheers laughing, I guess. And Michael and I had our backs to each other while we were calling the fight. We couldn't sit next to each other because we were going to laugh so hard. And I kept my finger on the cough button on my box for probably 2/3 of that fight, and I just let him go. I said a few things, but I couldn't talk. I was laughing, almost son of a bitch, almost the entire time. So
I can only imagine. Jesus Lord. I mean, the video, ladies, seriously. Access TV, Pat Miletich, Michael Chiavello, and just punch. It's spelled like Mainus, if I remember correctly. And you'll find it.
Mainus.
Yeah, you'll find it immediately. It's just comedy gold. Jeez.
Had I known that it was going to get blown up like that, it had like 2 million views overnight. So.
Oh yeah.
But it was a good one. And remember when I told you that they were trying to put together a fight between Danny Myanus.
That's it, Danny Myanus.
Fuckad Sharapov. Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. So anyway, what else you got in your notes there that we need to discuss, bud?
I actually wasn't able to get to my notes because you being the Gestapo co-host you are, I'm sitting here trying to eat, and he's like, let's go. So I didn't really have any notes, but I mean, it's the information's all there. I mean,
funny you say that. Funny you called me Gestapo. When I was on a movie set down in Mexico on that Paul Walker film, I got along with the assistant producer Tony Adler very well, little Jewish guy, and he told me to do something one time, and I said, "Jawohl, Herr Kommandant," just joking around from Hogan's Heroes, right? And I said, Jawohl, Herr Kommandant. And he looked at me and he goes, knock that shit off right now.
Whoa. He wasn't having that.
No, he was joking for the most part, but it was like, hey, dude, save that shit.
Not cool.
Yeah, but it was, they told us when John Hirschfeld, who's a movie director, was brought on last minute to direct that film. They fired the other director. They brought him in. He wanted fight scenes, and he called me up out of the blue and he said, Pat, can you create fight scenes? If I bring you down here and you bring down some talented guys, can we do fight scenes in this movie? Because there are no fight scenes in this movie. It's boring. We need fight scenes in it. And I said, sure. So Rory Markham, who was just in Bad Boys, whatever it was.
Yeah, the recent one. What a stud, dude! I had no idea. He's obviously talented.
A great actor.
He was doing stunt work,
Rory
but
has a lot of talent.
Man,
he was an amazing fighter. but he's an even better actor. He's really got a lot of talent. I really love the guy.
Yeah, great guy. Shout outs to Rory. What's up, Rory?
What's that?
I just shout outs to Rory. What's up, Rory?
Yeah, Rob Lawler, Tim Sylvia, Gan McGee, Chuck Liddell. Gosh, who else was in that film? But the one of the greatest things, and I tell this story now and then, and I don't know if you've even heard it about Rob Lawler was going to kill Tony Adler.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Where's my money?
So none of us had been being paid on the set. It was 5 weeks into filming, and they had promised every week to be electronically transferring funds into our bank accounts back home. And every time I talked to my wife, she was like, there's no money in this account. And I'd go down to the accounting office, which was 10 miles down the road, and I'd say, hey, man, to the accountant, I go, my wife's saying you guys aren't sending money. You need to start sending money. So 5 weeks into this thing, and Lawler's hearing me talk about this going, and he got down there a little later than I did. Well, anyway, nobody was being paid. The cameramen, all kinds of people weren't being paid, and except, of course, the main actors, the Carradine brothers, Lawrence Fishburne, and some other big name actors that were in the film. But so anyway, I'm on top of this. I'm going through the choreography of the fight scene with the director, John Hirschfeld, and we're on top of these massive boulders. We're like 30 feet in the air in the Mexican desert. And Mike Gunther, the stunt coordinator, comes running up and he goes, Pat, he goes, come down here. And I said, Mike, I'm talking to John right now. We're going over the fight scene. And he goes, no, you need to come down here. And I go, no, I'm talking to John. He goes, Rob Lawler is going to kill Tony Adler. You need to get your ass down here. And I said, oh, shit. So I got down there, and Rob's standing in front of Tony Adler, and Rob's going, Tony's going, hey, Rob, would it make you happy if I got you a SAG card, which everybody wants a SAG card in acting, right? You got to get a SAG card. And Rob doesn't give two shits about that. And Rob says, listen, nobody's getting paid. You guys aren't paying anybody. I'm not going to go, because Rob had already been killed in the fight scene. And he goes, I'm not going to go lay in the desert and all day long while you guys film this shit. He goes, put somebody else in my clothes and have them lay in the desert. You're not paying any money. Nobody's getting paid. I'm not doing it. And Tony goes, Rob, and he gets on the walkie-talkie and he goes, hey, get Rob Lawler's SAG paperwork up here immediately. And Tony Adler looks at Rob Lawler like that's going to appease him and make him happy. And he goes, does that sound okay, Rob? Does that make you happy? And Rob goes, maybe you didn't fucking hear me the first time. And so Tony Adler, this poor little guy, is sweating his ass off, terrified.
Jeez.
And I don't want Rob to get in trouble. I don't want Rob to hurt the little guy. I don't want Tony to get hurt because I actually like the guy. And I said, Rob, just go for a walk. Let me talk to Tony. So I talked to Tony and I go, Tony, as you can see, Rob's got a lot less patience than I do. But we got a serious situation here, and nobody's getting paid, including myself. And people are getting pretty fed up about it. I don't know what's going on, but you guys better figure this shit out. So Tony goes, okay. So I go over and I walk over to the Chevy Suburban that Paul Walker's sitting in the front passenger seat. A guy that has won the Baja 1000 several times is the driver of that truck. He's buddies with Paul Walker. And then Rob's sitting right behind Paul in the Suburban, and all the windows are down in the truck. And Rob is just basically saying, all you Hollywood freaks live in a make-believe world. He goes, we are just average Joes trying to make a living, and nobody's getting paid. The cameramen aren't getting paid. Nobody's getting paid. And Paul Walker goes, whoa, what? And he goes, nobody's getting paid? And Rob goes, no, nobody's getting paid at all. And so Paul Walker,
how long had it been? How long had it been since you guys started till nobody got any money?
5 weeks.
Oh shit.
So, and we were missing Matt Hughes' fight. Matt Hughes was fighting Joe Riggs that during that trip. So anyway, which is another great story, by the way. So anyway, Paul Walker walks up to Tony Adler, he calls Tony Adler over, and Tony Adler comes over and he said, if these people do not have money transferred into their accounts by lunchtime, we're packing up all the semis and this movie is done.
Damn.
And so Paul put his foot down for everybody on that set. And so anyway, the accountant started transferring money into people's accounts. Well, they owed me, I think, $38,000 at the time. So My wife calls later that day, and she goes, Pat, I think they made a mistake. And I said, why's that? Because they didn't deposit $38,000 in your account. They had deposited $380,000 in our account. And I went, what? She said, yeah, $380,000. So the accountant came back to the set. Now he's chasing me around. I've been chasing him around for 5 weeks. Now he's chasing me around, and he says to me, he goes, Pat, I made a mistake. You have $380,000 in your account. I need that money back, like, immediately. And I go, no problem. I'll take care of you. No problem. I'll call my wife right away after I get done filming today, and I'll make sure she wires that directly back to you. And we were like on the last 3 days of filming for that film, for that part of the film. And so every day he'd come back, and I just told my wife, I go, don't wire them shit. Make them sweat. I'm going to make this guy sweat because he made me sweat for a month.
Right.
So anyway, he came back every day. And then they had the wrap party for the movie, the wrap, whatever they call it, for the end of filming down there in Mexico. And he was at the party, and he's like, Pat, you got to help me out, dude. I'm going to lose my job. And I go, yeah, man, I'm surprised my wife hasn't sent it to you. This is ridiculous. And so anyway, I talked to him at the end of the night, and I said, I tell you what, there's still some cameramen and a few other people who have not been paid. I said, I've got all their numbers, and they've got my number. And as soon as all of them get paid, I will make sure to wire that money back to you. So I got home, and it was about 5 or 6 days later, everybody had confirmed that they had all been paid, and then we wired the money back. So that was a fun little story from that movie. It's a good one. That's like Hollywood. It was nice to make him sweat a little bit back.
Well, I mean, we're completely digressing, but that's Hollywood 101. Fortunately or unfortunately, I do have a SAG card. I am an actor. I'm a voiceover actor. The first movie set I was ever on was the same scenario, dude. Cats were getting paid. The food was just garbage. And then, I don't know if that's what this was happening, but the producer's job is to spend as least as possible. Depending on what kind of set. If you got shit tons of money, you can do it. But when you're on smaller budgets, spend as least as possible, because once it's over, you get to pocket that shit, or it becomes, look how great you can make a movie on such small budget. But yeah, it sucks, dude. God rest Paul Walker, dude. Good for him for standing up for you guys too.
He was a stand-up guy, man. And when he passed away, I was like, you know what? He really was a decent human being. He was a good human being. I went surfing with he and Oakley Lemon, who was his stunt double, and a hell of a stunt man, incredible race car driver and motocross guy, man, and a hell of a surfer. I went surfing with them off the coast of Baja, Mexico, and I am not a good surfer, and I'm certainly not a good surfer in 58-degree water, which it was. And I caught a wave finally. Those guys were surfing. I mean, they were catching waves constantly, but I was battling with a board that was too small. I was sinking an 8.5-foot board, so I was having some trouble. But anyway, I caught a wave, and I couldn't steer. I couldn't steer at the time. I didn't know how, I didn't have the balance to steer. I could stay on the board, but I couldn't steer, and it took me into these massive jagged rocks, this wave, and I was just, by luck, somehow, as I disappeared into these rocks, came down in an opening, and didn't get hurt, and was able to paddle back out of there. But Oakley Lemon and Paul Walker came over. They rode a wave over as far as they could, and then they paddled over real fast. And they got to me, and they go, "Holy shit, dude! We thought you died for sure." It was.
Yeah, you fall into some of that coral, dude. That shit'll cut you up.
Well, this was big, giant, black, jagged boulders sticking up out of the water and stuff, and I somehow missed them all. I missed them all.
You.
So
Croatian sensational luck you have, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, man. So we should wrap it up, I guess. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight on Facebook and on our lovely podcast. We'll release that.
We'll do that tonight. And just please, ladies and gentlemen, as we hunker down, believe me, as we're all kind of, cortisol is being released in all of our bodies, stress is at an absolute height. So when we come on every time, it's not always going to be your normal episode of Fire and Brimstone. We got to dabble a little bit of humor in there, have some levity to this, because otherwise we're all going to go freaking nuts. And I don't want to do that. Again, like I said,
stay safe, stay in shape, be hard to kill.
There we go, for real.
And and maybe look for online how to fight classes that I might start.
Dude, that's such a great idea.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. Teach your kids how to fight, learn how to fight yourself.
Absolutely.
Just get a heavy bag stand, get a pair of boxing gloves, couple pairs of boxing gloves, and some pads. Go up to the sporting goods store and hit me up, man. I might as well be doing private lessons one way or another, right?
You know, I see a lot of people getting, just like, I'm going to do something. What are you going to do during this downtime? You know, I was actually thinking about, learning a foreign language. I was going to lock into maybe doing a foreign language, just something productive, whether physical or mental or cerebral.
Might as well learn Chinese because we're all going to be working for them pretty soon if this keeps up.
Xie.
Right?
Yeah. Xie is thank you. En chinois. En chinois is in Chinese, in French. See? I remember stuff from high school French.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Absolutely. You guys, absolutely. Thanks for kicking it with us. Stay tuned. We're probably going to do a show tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of shows here to keep everybody up to date with stuff that we're hearing, keeping our ears to the ground. And I'll keep talking to our friends in the economy world.
And we all know everybody has, going through their stuff. But if you, any way, shape, or possible, you can support the farm, check us out, theconspiracyfarm.com. Grab some goods, apparel stuff, but stuff that's really conducive to what's going on right now is chemical-free body. Get your Greens 85, and any of the supplements there are definitely going to be helpful for you. Preparewiththefarm.com. Click on the My Patriot Supply for your storable food. We just don't know how long these things are going to be open. We're seeing unprecedented closings, etc. The C4.com. butcherbox.com/farmer. Just go to theconspiracyfarm.com and you'll find all that shit. We love you guys, man, and we seriously, man, appreciate you guys now more than ever. And it's not a matter of like, hey, we were so right, because it's not. We got our. These are the times that try men's souls, man, and what's going to be coming in the next several weeks, in my humble opinion, are going to be the likes of which that we've talked about for a long time. And a lot of people that say we're so crazy or tinfoil hats because oftentimes they can't grasp the depth, not intellectually. It's just they just don't get how things can get that dark in some of the scenarios we've talked about, whether it's satanic ritual abuse or whatever it is, the government funding ISIS, etc. Here is another perfect example. We're seeing the writing on the wall. The biggest loss we've ever seen in the history of our stock exchange has been topped 4 times in the last few weeks. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if. So please stay safe, man. Keep your kids safe. Look out for your loved ones, especially your elder, the elder folks, man, who are more susceptible to this. We will get through this. Obviously, this too shall pass. And this is honestly going to be kind of a test of our ingenuity, our resourcefulness, our survivability. Right. Love you guys, man. Love you too, champ. And
thank you, brother. Love you. Love everybody. Thanks for watching, man. Stay safe, and let's ride this one out.
Damn straight. Peace and love, guys.
All right, guys.